saying it's
All right, we're live.
I'm about to find out.
So I'm going to go live on Insta. Make sure you send me the request right away.
Okay. Yeah. All right. We are live on YouTube right now. Cool.
Yeah, just come on Instagram now.
There you go. All right. I'm on Instagram. Okay. There you go. And now I would ask to what?
Yeah, you have to request to join.
Cool. Weird part is we're definitely yeah, we're live, man.
Okay, I don't see you. Okay, perfect.
There's an echo. There you
Yeah,
go. All right. So can you hear me? Okay.
yeah, there's echo though. Hold on.
So this is our first time going live, everybody. That's actually the second time going live. We don't ever really do live, but we're live on YouTube. We are live on Instagram, I guess. So if you guys want to ask questions, it'll probably be a lot easier just to jump on YouTube, wouldn't it? I'm not sure how that
Yeah,
works.
Instagram, YouTube, whatever they're comfortable with, feel free to hit us. Let's just wait a minute. We'll talk about markets and then a couple other things that we want to talk about. And also, the big thing is, Mark, you're coming back on your YouTube channel now, so
Yes, I am.
we got
I
to make
am.
sure we cover that.
Yeah. So I don't know how this even. I can see who's on live and who's not. I see there's like 7 people watching now. So what's up, everybody, on I guess YouTube. So I figure this out, man. I don't know. This shit's new to me. It is what it is. We got some stuff to talk about, I guess. But dude, how was your weekend so far?
Dude, I've been working. Honestly, the way we closed yesterday, there's a big opportunity on Monday all through Friday. So I'm pretty pumped for tomorrow.
Yeah, dude, that market drop was fucking insane. So, and I did not trade, but I was watching the market the entire time because I was working and watching it, and it was just funny how it was moving sideways the entire time until the Jackson Hole and the keywords that he basically said, and then immediately it was like on futures market a hell of a drop. It was like 160 some points on or ticks on ES, and then it's like they bought it right back up to where it dropped, and then it just tanked again for the rest of the day. So it was pretty impressive, man. Sometimes when I see those trades, I'm like, man, why didn't I get into this trade instead of like sitting on the sidelines on
Yeah.
that one, because that would have been an easy, dude. That one contract, had you done like one contract in the ES, it would have garnered you. Had you like literally wrote it from the top where I initially saw the drop and just wrote it down all the way through the end of the day, you would have made about 8,000, close to $8,000 on one single contract on
So
the ES.
on SPX, it went from $20 to we closed. It was a 10,000% return. So if you put 10,000 in the market, it would be about $1 million. But that's if you can time travel. You knew exactly when to get in and exactly to sell. But I think uh, days like that usually mentally screw people over, and so the coming week, most people are going to try to pull the same act and lose
Mm-hmm.
money. So,
Yeah,
um,
yeah, it's pretty interesting. There's someone who's asked a question actually, like, what's the best risk management for scalping in the futures? Honestly, if you, it's about your have an ATM set up. Whether you gotta figure out like what your risk tolerance is. I personally recommend if you're brand new to futures, you should definitely start with the minis, MES, um, and then figure out what works best for you, what your risk tolerance is. On ES, typically, I try not to have more than 3 to 4 points on my stop loss, and I'm trying to go for 50 to 60 ticks. So that's what, like 30 to like about 30 points or something like that. I'm really bad with math on the spot, but yeah, when it comes to ticks, I have anywhere between 12 to 20 ticks stop loss, and 50 is my goal for scalping futures. But you're talking about scalping. So I try to scalp, man, because I'm gonna be honest with you. When it comes to scalping, a lot of times when you start scalping a little bit here, a little bit there, you can end up getting into a situation where you're gonna end up burning your account. Oh, this SG. What's up, man? What's up, homie? I have a question. I need help trading futures, sir. Man, shut up. This is SG. This is like the most profitable trader I know who just doesn't sell any courses or nothing. He just straight up trades futures. You guys should follow him on Twitter. SG, and I did a podcast with him and stuff like that. But that guy, he puts in like a lot of hard work, man. It's like no joke, man. That guy, every day, like it seems easy for a lot of people, but that dude to me is like when it comes to trading futures, he is 100% legit. He makes some pretty damn good trades, man. I'm not at that level at all.
All right, so we have a second question. What's a good stop loss for scalping SPY or Apple options on the 1 minute? 20% is my stop because I've come back being down. So the definition of scalping versus day trading, a lot of people confuse it. Scalping is something you're in the trade 5 minutes to 15 minutes, 30 max. Day trading is you're in the trade all day or at a longer interval. Now, my thing it's always been, why do you have anything at a certain percent? Because the market doesn't relate to that. So if you say your stop loss is 20%, what if the market goes 21%, kicks you out, and then goes back right up? So don't have percentages in terms of stop, have levels. So for instance, if Mark gets into Apple at 150 and the next demand level is at 148, that should be his stop loss. You say 20%, it doesn't make any sense. The other argument to that is, what if the next demand level will take you out by 50% on stop loss? That means your entry is incorrect. So that's why you want to take entries closer to demand or break of supply. The best strategy of scalping is finding something that's low risk. What's low risk? Low risk is a trade that is very close to a stop loss, which is either, again, a demand zone or a break of supply. Supply zones are also called breakout trades. So I personally think that if you're new and you lost a lot of money, don't take any trade on supply. Take all your trades on demand that are very close to your stop loss. So for instance, let's talk about this. Let's say the Apple, I believe, closed at 164.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What we did was we got into a trade for a put at 165. That was a hard resistance for Apple. So if you were wrong, you would have lost on a next week's contract. You would have lost about 7 to 8%. But if you profited, you're going to see like after hours, Apple's at 162. Most likely, we see 160 on a Monday. So that would give you about 150% in profits. So that was a good RR for scalping or day trading.
Well, there you go. I just dropped in SG's Twitter feed in there as well because, like I said, he doesn't teach though, y'all. So don't ask him to be like, "Hey, can you like train me or something like that?" He doesn't do any of that stuff, man. He just sticks to himself and he trades, but he's very transparent. But yeah, again, same thing. Like what, so Mo just kind of explained how to trade on like the options and the options levels and stuff. Where on futures it's a little bit different. I mean, same thing, demand, supply. There's so many different strategies to trade on futures, but it's really like how do you manage your risk tolerance? That's really what kind of separates you from the winners and losers. For one is your emotions, and then second your risk tolerance and having like a good risk to reward ratio. Like you can basically be 40% profitable, right? And someone else could be like 80% profitable. But really, like, how much are they really making? It could be completely different. Like, the 40% could actually outdo the 80% because it's about how quickly you cut your losses and how long you keep your good trades in place before you exit. Like the dude that dude SG is legit. Like him, I know him and Dennis is the guy who taught me my strategy on futures for specifically Nasdaq. Those are the two people that I know are legit and 100% are profitable at trading futures. So you guys should definitely listen to him. It's not easy, man. Personally, I go back and forth on which is harder, futures or options. Mo would probably say options is easier because he's mastered and is pretty good with it. It just kind of depends, man, like what type of trader you are. Sometimes I used to think futures was easier. Then I hopped over to options. I was like, this is easier. And I went back to futures. I was like, this is easier. So I don't know, man. It's just really up to your tolerance.
So
Your
if
tolerance.
you, what Mark, if you have issues with risk management with options, you're gonna have massive issues playing futures. The
Hell yeah.
only benefit I see with futures, just talking to people that trade SPX like Will and Gerald, there's no theta, so that's your
That's
beneficial
a pro. Yeah.
factor there. But the risk management part, if you don't understand that in options, I wouldn't go to futures. Me, but it's very personal because some people have high risk tolerance. So let's say Mark has high risk tolerance, you can't really copy him or his style, because when you're executing, you're going to have emotions involved, and most likely you're going to botch the execution because you don't have the same conviction as Mark. So that's the tough question to ask an individual, because you don't know what their trading style is.
Yeah, that's like a big part. What I know is a lot of people just kind of think like give this blanketed statement like I do this, so if I do this, it should work for you. It's really not. You have to figure out what works best for you, like for a. But yeah, how many people we got in the room? How can you tell like how many people are in the room? Okay, I see 13 over
So
here.
on Instagram, you have 13. YouTube, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. This is like our first time. We should do this more often though. I actually like this, especially in the weekends and stuff. If people are bored, they can pop in.
Well, well, the
So
big thing now is what happened on Friday changed sentiment for a lot of people. You have to understand, when we were doing our show on the podcast for the last, what, 6, 8 weeks, we've been telling people, bear market's not over, and people probably thought we were crazy because the market
yeah,
is up, right? So now you see a drop like that. I don't blame these people, because we talked about the number, right? We talked about that number where if you're over 50% retracement after a big ass drop, based on historical data after 1950, bear market's over. So that number was 42.31. We actually broke that number, right? We're back to an anomaly now. This has only happened prior to 1950. So that's why a lot of people, I don't blame them, because if you follow the stat, even funds were buying after we got over the 50% retracement on fib level. So I get it. I think the sentiments changed, and a lot of people will try fighting the Fed come Monday, buying the dip. Um, and you're going to see what happens. And at the same time, with bears, you are down 3% on a Friday. Not Black Friday, but a red Friday usually leads to a red Monday. Historically, there's an 80% chance that's going to happen, but a lot of people might trying to pull the same tactic they did on Friday. It's not going to work. We've taken a big move. Market might take a couple of days to consolidate before we get the next leg down.
yeah, because after that big drop, it really did kind of consolidate. It slowly went down, but it really did consolidate for the rest of the day. After that one move, once the Fed spoke, it was that big drop, and then just kind of consolidated, but like consolidated in a slow path downward. I tell you some stocks still. My stocks, shit, that stuff got, man, yo, my stocks got beat up, man. My portfolio, oh god, it was god awful. But you know what? I kind of changed my mindset when it comes to that, because again, this is like an opportunity to buy some stuff. At a discount. Again, remember, know the difference between buying the downtrend and buying the bottom. So there's just definitely, or buying the dip, I guess. There's definitely two separate things. Buying the bottom and buying the dip are very, very different, because a lot of
Because
us
a lot of
thought we were
us
buying
thought
the
we were
dip
buying the dip,
and we
and
weren't.
we
We
weren't.
were
We were
buying the
buying the
drop.
drop.
I have an
I have an
echo
echo
all of a
all of a
sudden.
sudden.
Yeah, it's gone now. I don't know. Let me see. Let me go mute my microphones real quick and see, because now I only hear you as a background on a phone. Hold on.
Okay, you go. I'll be right back. I'm gonna grab new pair of headsets. I'll be right back.
Yeah, and can you guys
Hear us? Okay. Is there echo or anything?
What's up, Johnny H? So let me mute my microphones real quick.
Bears, you are down 3.
Interesting. Yeah. So, I'm trying to make sure there's no echo. Shit, my bad. There. That should be a lot better. Alright, I don't even know. I hear myself
in my ear, but it is what it is. So Andre B, I do not. I have a specific level set up with. I can't publicly say it because again, it's a strategy I learned from Dennis, he told me the strategy. I haven't seen anyone else use it online, but it's a calculation when it comes to like the opening and close. Where SG he does something completely different, but him and I both use a tape to watch the market. How's it going, Demo? Is there still an echo, y'all, or is everything good?
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
Okay, perfect.
But is there an echo or anything, y'all?
No, we're good. Oh yeah, ask them. Okay, we have another question. Sometimes I feel that that's a magical thing I'm missing to build further confidence. I think that question's for you, Mark.
Hold on. I hear something here in the background, but there's no echo. You guys can hear me perfectly fine?
I can't hear you.
That's weird. There's some weird sound there in the background, but whatever. So, what was this question? He says, sometimes I feel like that magical thing is missing the ability of future confidence and consistent profitability. Do you own which one? The Andre B? It's really not a question. It's just he's making a statement, right? Am I missing to build future confidence? And honestly, dude, if you're talking about futures, dude, it's all about confidence, like 100%. Actually, now you could keep talking, bro. It's all good. But yeah. Oh, and Andre B said you can answer as well. But when it comes to futures, dude, 100%. I swear, it's like the gym, right? If you go to the gym and you work out and you're trying to get buff, it's really 80. Whatever you did there, Mo, it stopped. So I don't hear that little staticky background. But it's 80% emotions and 20% strategy is how I feel. Y'all can SG, what's your thoughts on that, man? Because I definitely think the emotional aspect, you got to get the emotions down. If not, you're screwed. You're definitely screwed. So, what about you, Mo? He said that applies to you as well. Oh, Scotty Pippin, I do own crypto, bro. I own crypto, and I'm gonna be real with you. I know nothing about crypto. It looks like you dropped off of YouTube there. I mean Instagram. I know nothing about crypto, bro. So every single time when I got into crypto, like no lie, the very next day it would just drop, like a harsh drop, dude. Like every single time. So I invested only $2,400 into crypto. I'm only at $1,200. That's what I got left now. I was in Bitcoin, Ethereum, ADA, Solano. I had a little bit of VEX, and I sold everything, and now I'm mostly in a crypto token called Quant. Take a look at it. It's pretty dope. Hey, we have some staticky stuff there, Mo.
Yeah, I just ended the Instagram because it wasn't working. I'm trying to change it. Let me try again.
I can't hear. Hey, Mo. I can't hear you. Are you guys hearing some really staticky stuff on Mo's end? Say something, Mo. It sounds really staticky. Maybe it's just me, but.
Better now?
There you go. Now, whatever you did just now, you're good to go.
Okay, perfect. Let me just keep. Okay, someone has a question. Hold on. I'm gonna jump back to Instagram in a second. So, what was Andre's question?
Andre was basically asking right here. Let me go back up. He was asking you. Where do you go? He said, "He's like sometimes I feel that this magical thing I'm missing to build future confidence and consistent profitability." So he want to know what your thoughts is on that.
So look, so confidence is something that comes over time. Like when you're a new trader, and you can ask Mark or anyone that's been trading for a while, you've got that fear, you've got that anxiety when you're getting in trade, and that's because you don't have prior experience, or the prior experience you've had has led to losses. And what your brain does is every time you're trying to get into a trade, it's freaking out because it remembers the last instance where you lost money. The only way to build confidence is by practice, and it's not by overlearning. That's the key difference. I have a personality where I'm half driver, half analytical. So what I did was when I couldn't do well with trading, I tried learning more, which meant learning new indicators, learning like new algos, bots, whatever I could. And that led to basically overthinking and not actually executing. So the key here is practicing, just size down, figure out one or two charts, maybe two stickers a week or even a month, and figure out basically one indicator. Don't have 4 or 5 indicators. And when I say size small, we have a guy that started a month ago, and he's been trading one contract. Some of his contracts are $27 to $30, but what we've been focusing on is his success rate and his execution. So even when he loses, it's based on following an execution plan. And I could bet you, even with $50, he's still nervous. The whole idea is get him to practice as much as we can, and then we scale him up based on how he feels comfortable. Mark's base could be getting into 10 contracts or $2,000. My base could be only $200. I might have a better success rate, but the moment I go at Mark's scale, that confidence will go away because I've never played it this big. So that's why you have to kind of ask yourself, how much are you okay with this? And with the options, I don't want to say expect zero, but have a higher risk tolerance, because a lot of people in 2020 got used to swinging and they were okay with market going down as long as they bought enough time, they were fine. But 2022, swinging was the biggest punishment the market gave, because you would have a bull run one day, a bear market the next day. So just be careful how much you're leveraging. If you are on a weekly contract, I don't care what you know, one news can wipe out your entire account. So be very cautious on how to trade. So the big thing here is risk management.
Yeah, and his other question was actually, he's like, do you guys do any statistical analytics to build your edge? Like I said, when it comes to the futures, I actually have an Excel spreadsheet that kind of gives me certain levels that I need to pay attention to trade. Again, this is a method that was taught to me by Dennis, so I can't reveal it. It's a secret sauce. You can pay me $5,000 and I'll tell you. I'm just joking, but it's you guys could reach out to him if you want. But I can give you a tip, which I notice my lines are very close to the pivot indicator on Ninja Trader. So if you throw up the pivot indicator, just keep an eye on that and just watch that for a little bit. But honestly, SG put me on reading the tape. That's a huge thing. So that's a time in sales, and you literally see the live orders come in, and there's really no way to say like how can you read that better. It's you just literally watching it for hours on end, and eventually it clicks. It's really weird, but you just watch it, because I remember the first time I watched it, I was like, I don't get it. I don't know what I'm looking at. After like day 2 of just sitting there for hours and watching it, it started to register. I would see where the numbers would start struggling at and where it starts going down, where it would bounce off at. It's really strange, but you literally have to just sit there and just watch the tape. It's called time of sales indicator on Ninja Trader. I'm sure it has the same thing on Thinkorswim. I don't know anything about that. So when it comes to
Mark,
Thinkorswim time of sales, I don't know.
Mark,
What's
can
up,
you
bro?
come live for a second? The live got disconnected. Can you come live
Yeah, on
on
Instagram?
Instagram?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Pop up, bro. Are you still on Instagram right now?
Yeah. So just I'm live now. So if you could just send the invite again. Andre, like one thing I'll tell you, and that's what Mark will say. Uh, I'm in like options trading for a while. I've been admins for different multiple groups, and I'll tell you this, and a lot of people kind of cringe on this. No single course, no single algo can get you anything. And this is coming from me. I sell courses. I think today's August 27th. I'm going to stop selling courses effective this month, and there's a big reason for it. And the big reason is courses alone cannot take you where you need to get. Practice can. And I think Mark's covered this multiple times. Okay, hold on. Let me add Mark.
There you go. Yeah,
Could
level
you
2.
send the request again?
Sure. I can do that. Oh, it just says requested. I don't know where. Hold on. Let me get out and go back in. Yep, there you go. I'm now live with you, bro.
All right, perfect.
You know, I'm just gonna. What if I just take this off? That's weird. Do you have a static key? Is a static key on? You guys is in. Let's see.
All right, is it better now?
Yeah, I don't know. My phone has like a little staticky sound back there, but it's fine. I'll get over it. There you go. You guys have to just suck it up, I guess. I don't know what to tell you.
So yeah,
I don't like Instagram, bro. There's got to be an easier way to do this Instagram live stuff. So maybe
is
next
this
time.
is this still static?
I don't know, guys. Do you hear If you guys don't hear static on your end, that's fine. I can work through it. Just want to make sure that it's not static on Instagram. I'm specifically talking about Instagram, y'all.
They're saying
static with Mark.
Yeah. So Mark, the way I have it set up is I actually have the speaker on the computer muted.
Okay, let's see. Well, I got my headphones in, so that's the. Let me see. All right. Anything? Does that help?
I think it should help them. I'm good.
See, now I can't hear you. Hey, man, I might just have to jump off of this Instagram live. If you guys want, go ahead and check us out on.
Just stay on. Just stay on, Mark. It's okay.
Okay. All right. Well, hopefully it's not too bad for y'all on Instagram. But again, you guys can jump on YouTube. YouTube should be good to go, I'm pretty sure. So I don't think there's any sound issues over there. I got like this whole crazy freaking setup, dude. I got a bunch of cameras and shit. But yeah, so on another topic, real quick, if no one has any other questions, real quick, dude, did you see the whole HBO execs accusing people of racism again? Because I talked about this before on our Money Market Truths podcast. Which, by the way, if you guys haven't subscribed yet, make sure you subscribe on Money Market Truths, both on Instagram as well as on YouTube. Please do. I really appreciate it. That's all we ask. We're not going to try to sell you courses or anything like that. We just want you guys to subscribe and support and share this video. But we talked about Warner Brothers a couple of episodes ago because I've been interested in eyeing it ever since the split from AT&T because I want to buy into the stock itself. It's just they've been making all this massive cutbacks, man. And recently they fired 13 executives that are considered minority, and that apparently has hit the YouTube racism, the woke folks. But what a lot of people are missing out on is the fact that they've been cutting back on a bunch of shit. They canceled a bunch of movie projects, Batgirl, Scooby-Doo. They canceled about 200 episodes of Sesame Street. Some of the content that they have the rights to, they scrapped. So I don't know if they're going to try to sell it off or lease it off to like Netflix or something, but they got rid of that. And they also cut back on 14% of their workforce. And now they started cutting and firing execs. And then what hit the news in the woke Twitter world and the woke news outlets, they were saying that Warner Brothers is racist because they fired 13 minority execs, and therefore there's no diversity within the company anymore. It's kind of bullshit because realistically they fired 70 people, execs within Warner Brothers, and only 13 of those were minorities. So if you look at the ratio, it doesn't really come across as racist. I think they're just really trying to cut down the fat so they can be profitable, so the next quarter they can actually have a better Q3 returns versus what they've been doing. So keep an eye on that stock. I like it. I've been also really heavy into cover calls. I talked about that as well. So if anyone has questions about cover calls, I've just been doing basic cover calls. I like it so far. I wish I would have learned about that back in 2020 because at that time I was buying a lot of shares and a lot of people were buying shares. I think if people knew about the power of just small compound onto your stocks that you have, if you have over 100 shares, you could do this thing called cover calls. And you're basically turning your stocks into a form of a dividend play. So that's why I stopped buying dividend stocks and I'm just going to start focusing on cover calls because I'm basically creating my own dividend stock at this point.
You're getting passive income for your assets, basically.
Yes.
Mark, we have a question by Ken. Besides stocks and crypto, do you guys invest in anything else?
I invest in myself a lot and in my wife. No, I have a business. So I have another business. I have a real estate photography business. I do get paid off of YouTube as well. I make a little bit of money off of YouTube. I don't really consider it like a business, more like a side hustle with YouTube. I also have a digital marketing where I build websites and stuff as well. So early on, this is before like I got introduced to the stock market stuff. I always had some sort of side business or side hustle. I had a t-shirt company, really, really hard to be profitable in that space. But I'm actually gonna probably sell some more merch here soon because I just enjoy it. But yeah, when it comes to investing, homes, I have a home. I wish I would have kept the other three homes that I had. So I'm not very heavily into real estate. I know Mo is a little bit more. Mo has a little bit more experience with real estate. But me personally, I think a smart move, instead of paying all these bullshit ass furus out there, you guys should probably take that amount of money, especially if it's thousands of dollars, y'all, for real, on some real shit. Go get yourself a certificate in like cybersecurity or IT, and you can get yourself a side hustle. Because I'm just being real. Like, the people are fucking charging you $5,000, $10,000 for some bullshit basic free knowledge. Go to a school and get yourself a certificate in a field that you can use, a trade. It doesn't matter what, and you could turn that into another form of income versus you paying these assholes to tell you basic information, and then you basically don't even have enough money to start investing into the stock market as well. So that's just my 2 cents.
So I'm pretty big on real estate. I think stocks and options and futures are all great. But I think real estate is I'm talking Canadian market. It's very low risk, high reward. And I think like for even states, just visiting Mark in Florida, Airbnb looks amazing. That's what I want to get into right now. Is just basic buying and just renting, long term investment. But apart from that, investing in yourself is probably the biggest thing, and that's why like I get a lot of hate when I tell people that yes, you can invest in S&P and get like 10%, and in 20 years you're gonna have $1 million, but I think you could make more by the advice that Mark gave you, like cybersecurity, pressure washer, any kind of side hustle, freelancing. You could possibly make $1,000 to $2,000 with doing minimal effort. And a lot of people only qualify that because a lot of people don't have the funds necessary to trade options or go big on stocks. Like when I say big, $1,000 a month is big for a lot of people. So like there's a lot of skills, video editing, just graphic designing that don't require that much money, which
Hmm.
falls in the bracket of investing in yourself, which I think will be the biggest lesson for most people that are going to go through this recession. That's my opinion.
Yeah, man. And another thing too, like I've noticed a lot of people have been getting like sold on this idea that having a 9 to 5 is shit. By the way, Mo, I think I'm just gonna get off of Instagram. It's staticky, anyways. We only have 2 people viewing on there. We have more people on YouTube, so um, yeah. And it looks like the last person just got off. So fuck this. Fuck
All
Instagram.
right,
Sound
I'm
is
up.
bad, dude. If the sound is bad, dude, it's not even worth it. So but yeah, so a lot of people sell you this whole dream that having a 9 to 5 is like the death of your soul and death of your artistry and all this other stuff. Dude, that's full of shit. If you have a 9 to 5 that pays you well and you're comfortable with, stay doing that and learn the additional skills of trading and stuff. Yes, obviously, if you are not working full time, you can spend a lot more time and speed up the process to try to become a full time trader or options trader, whatever you want to do. But there's nothing wrong with having a 9 to 5. The problem is a lot of people live in this world and society where they're doing a 9 to 5 that they hate. So I completely understand it because a lot of people can relate. Look, I was one of them, and I literally retired from the military technically last year May, and I didn't work for like 6 months or so. You just did something again, Mo, with your sound. And what ended up happening is I just got lucky. 6 months down the line, the army had saw my resume floating up somewhere, and they offered me a shit ton of money to be a contractor. And I was like, I don't have to work, but the pay's pretty good. Well, what's my time, right? It's because you want to own back your time. You want to win back your time. That's the reason why we do this. And it was teleworking at that time, and they were like, we're mostly teleworking, and you're allowed to trade during the day. So we think you have this expertise that we can benefit from. Please work here, and I did. And now we're back in the office like 50%, so that kind of sucks, and it does impede with my trading a bit because by the time I get to the office, I don't really have as much time to prepare. But in the end of the day, especially during this bear market, I don't do very well with puts and shorting the market. It's a psychological thing because I'm heavily invested in the stock market. I don't like seeing and betting against my own future. That's what you're really doing. That's part of a problem. I have like my portfolio of stocks that I buy, and then I'm betting that it's going to go down. It fucking sucks. So it's like a mental block. And so I'm actually happy that I have a 9 to 5 as well, and it's super easy. I get paid ridiculous amount of money for an easy job, and I still have my retirement check, and I still have my other businesses and other streams of income. So I put myself in a situation where I'm able to gain back my time, and I don't need to rely on the 9 to 5. And that should be everyone's goal, is to figure out a way how you don't have to rely on your 9 to 5. But if you want a 9 to 5, you can have it, because it's steady income, whether it provides you the benefits that you need and etc. Because again, trading is not easy. It is hard. And it may seem easy when you see people like SG or Mo trade, but shit is hard. It takes a lot of your mental capital away, man. It is hard.
So, dude, I'm telling you, if you think I'm good, I feel burnt out most days. Especially August and July were probably the toughest month I've had personally. And I'm not talking in terms of money, I'm talking about in terms of market, because I don't know if anyone here has done cold dialing or cold calling. It felt like that because you come up with the thesis and almost every other day you're wrong, right? You think the market's going to go this way. As traders, you're taught to just follow levels. But as human, you will have biases when you wake up, when you see the market, and fighting against that bias takes a mental toll on you, right? And then you step in the world of Twitter where literally no one's losing money. Like, I don't think anyone's ever had a red day on Twitter. Like, FinTwit is out beating Goldman Sachs and everyone. Do you get me? Like, no one actually loses there, and they have a single system or a course that will get you there. So and that's the mental torture most people go through, because they're like, fuck, this was a tough week for me. And then you see someone post a screenshot of a 2000% return or something, and then you're like fucking comparing because you're human. So I don't care how long you've been trading, you have to go through that mental toll depending on what the market is. So, like, saying that the market is easy is bullshit. I know people that have been trading for 25 years and they're like, this month was tough. And that's the truth. And in trading, you learn something new every day. And in trading, no single thing works every single day. You have to change strategies. I'm not talking about risk management, that stays there, but I'm talking about, is this the swing market? Is it the scalp market? Is it the day trader market? Or the best one, is it the market where I'm not good enough to trade, so I'm going to sit back and watch? And you have to have that conversation with yourself that Mark might have had a great day today, but I'm going to have a horrible day because I can't trade these markets. Identifying that early on is key. And the Twitter garbage and toxicity, the best thing is just start blocking people that are actually impacting you. It doesn't matter what their intent is, but if, let's say, something I say is triggering you in a wrong way, you should just block me. I think you're trying to protect yourself, unless I'm trying to push you to learn something. So that's kind of like my thing. And most people on Twitter started trading 2020, right, Mark? Most people, majority, I would say.
Yeah, most,
and so if you started trading then too, you kind of like, you have that circle. You want to get out of that circle as fast as you can, because these guys are calling top and bottom every day. And literally 10 tweets go out, one of them it's correct, and then you just post the one that's correct and you ignore the 9. So there's no accountability. So that's why you have to be very careful. Who are you following? Back in the day, I used to hear, you are what you eat. Right now, you are what you consume. And with this social media, it's who you're following on Instagram and Twitter is going to impact, because you're fucking feeding off that information all day. But yeah, I'm gonna keep going on a rant.
Oh yeah, no, you were 100% correct about that. What's up, Stock Chaser? By the way, that's my homie. He's been rocking with me since the beginning. But Bernie had a pretty good question. I guess that one really only applies to me because you don't trade futures. It's like, what do you think about trading futures versus options? Honestly, dude, it's a preference, right? I personally feel like futures is more stressful. Options is more relaxed. But I feel like I can make easier money trading futures than I can with options, if that makes sense. It's really a preference. Now, funny thing is, I saw some lady on EYL, and it was such bullshit. She was selling this whole Forex program, of course. I don't give a fuck, dude. I'm calling everyone out. We're going to talk about that as well. But she's selling this Forex program, and I remember I was listening. She was giving some really good information, but of course she was selling a course that was like $3,500. But someone had asked her that same question, say, hey, what do you think of options versus Forex? And she was like, oh, you need too much capital to start options. Like Forex is so much cheaper. You only need a couple of bucks to make thousands of dollars in Forex, and with options you need a minimum of $10,000 to start. Complete full of bullshit, man. That was 100% a lie. That is not true. I've seen people who started a small account with like maybe $500 in options. I would say $500 is probably a comfortable starting point, and grew their account. In futures, I've seen people as well at $500 and grow their account. Just yeah, so that whole that forex or futures is easier or better. It's really honestly preference. 100% is preference, and it's just the emotional roller coaster that you go through is drastically different. And like I said that before, futures more stressful. Options is a little bit more relaxed. I prefer to swing options. I don't like doing day trade options. Mo is a day trader options. I like swinging, and this is not the environment really to swing options. Um, every time I get into an option play, man, because like back in what 2021, I would get into an option play a month out. I wouldn't worry about it. I get in at like $1, come back, it's like $400, right? Or I mean $100 to $400. Now I get into a swing play and I'm up 17%, and one day I come back the next week I'm down 58%. I fucking hate it. So it depends what you're looking for.
All right, Ken, we have a question from Ken. Sorry. Has it ever gotten so bad you wanted to quit trading? If so, what kept you in the game? I think, and I think this applies for most traders, is I could have a good 10 days, good month and a half. That doesn't happen, by the way. That's bullshit on Twitter. Month and a half, amazing. This market is like you have good 3 days, and then you're like, okay, I gave back my profits. I need to chill out. But what's happening as a trader is when you are wrong, right? You don't feel like you should be trading or you're a bad trader. And a lot of people have a toxic relationship with money. That's one. Second part is for me, myself, what I tend to do is I attach my self-worth with what kind of work I do. So when I worked a job, that the my quality of work was my self-worth. So when they praised me, I felt better about myself. When they said it's not good, I felt bad. So I applied the same shit in trading, and that's what most people do. So I've there's been multiple times. I'd say once every 2 3 months I want to quit because you burn out. What keeps you in the game is asking yourself why you got in. Um, Mark did an interview with me, and it's like a whole hour. You should go check it out. I used to work a corporate job, the best job I ever had. I hated it, absolutely hated it. And every time I think about if this doesn't work out, I have to go back. That's what keeps me in the game. Trading is one of the easiest way to make money, in my opinion, if you can keep your emotions in check. Trading is not about work ethic, it's about discipline. And that's where most people lose. A lot of people have an amazing work ethic, but they have terrible discipline. And that works perfect in a job because the more you work, the more you make. In trading, you'll get wiped out.
Yeah, as for me, yes, I think about quitting every single day. I'm not gonna lie, I really do. Like every single day when whether I don't trade or I do trade, um, I sometimes feel like I want to quit, but I'm not. The reason why I even started trading, to be honest, was I was trying to figure out a way how to get out the military, and then I just realized I didn't need to be in to begin with. My expenses, I just adjusted my lifestyle. Really, that's what it was. And obviously, I get a check every single month, so that helped out. But when it comes to trading, the reason why I initially even got into it, I have kids, and seeing the direction where this country is going, just in general, when it comes to education and everything else, I wanted my kids to have a skill that they can learn. So once I become proficient at it, I can teach them so they have a skill where they don't feel like they have to do a certain job that they don't want to. Like maybe if my daughter, she wants to be a singer, she's terrible, but she wants to be a singer and she's 7 years old. But many of you know, to become a successful singer, I mean, it's really hard to get into that industry. So instead of her trying to be a cocktail waitress or working at a restaurant or just doing these dead end jobs while trying to pursue singing, she can have the skill to trade at home for a couple of hours, make good money, and then she could pursue what she really wants to do, which is get into the music industry. Same thing with my son. If he wants to I don't know, play basketball or something, whatever he wants to do, he changes it every single day. But if you have a skill, like a legitimate skill that they are good at and it makes good money, it literally opens all these doors for him because then he doesn't have to worry about where am I gonna get my next meal at, where am I gonna make money at here, like am I gonna get this paycheck, am I gonna get fired, all this other stuff. The worst thing you wanna be in is in a situation where somebody else really owns your life. Like I had I'm going on this tangent, but my best friend, she's a girl, right? Me and her grew up together in Germany. I just took her to the airport today, but her and I were having this conversation with my wife as well, and I noticed that in Europe I was a lot happier, and she is a lot happier in Europe. So she's a flight attendant. On average, we were talking about like how much money we make. I make a shit ton more money than her, right? But I'm always grinding to make more money. Why is that? It's the culture that we live in here in America, where she legitimately only makes about 20K a year. Way happier. Why is like if you go to Germany or Europe in general, you see a lot of people are more happy because there's cultural differences. Like they have less stress in their life. They don't have to worry about their education, their medical expenses. If like everything goes to hell, they'll still will be taken care of by the government in a different way than the United States does. And I know the United States is like, oh, socialism is bad and blah blah blah. Well, that's a lot of talking points and talking heads, but if you go over there and actually talk to people who live in Europe, yeah, they have their own problems too as well. But you will see that their quality of life and their just overall happiness is significantly higher than people here in America. And it's just because of the lifestyle that they live and what they worry about and what they don't worry about. And if I have the tools to be able to teach my kids a skill where they don't have to worry about money coming in, I'm willing to do that. So I don't care how much money I lose. I don't care how much this shit stresses me out. I don't care if I'm going to end up being super successful or not. My goal is to become a proficient trader to pass this skill on to my kids. And when I say proficient trader, let me be very clear. I've had good months, several good months, and I have several bad months when it came to trading. I don't consider myself a proficient good trader until I can be consistently and have the same consistent income for 2 years minimum. If I could do that consistent every single month, I get the same or more every single month for 2 years straight. There's going to be losses, but overall, if I could be consistent for 2 years straight, I have been successful at this trading game. If not, then I'm not going to do it. I'm not one of those bullshit artists that you see on YouTube that has one good month or one good trade and is like, yo, we're all eating up in here. Bullshit. You had one good trade in 6 months. Shut the fuck up. You are probably in debt. You probably lost majority of your money. You're not proficient. So stop selling courses. For one, especially if these people are not even willing to show their brokerage statement in a several month period. I can show you a brokerage statement that's good in 1 month and tell you, yo, I'm the GOAT. You should buy courses from me. But why don't you go look at the rest of my brokerage statements? You will be like, wait a second. I don't know if I want to pay you money to teach me how to trade. That's the reality of things. You have to have realistic goals, and my goal is 2 years minimum. Every single month, if I have 2 bad months in a row, guess what? The time starts over. Time starts over. Because that means that in that 2 months, I had way too many mistakes in those 2 months to the point where I end up negative. Doesn't mean I'm proficient. I need to start over and recalibrate, and then the time starts completely over again. Because I'm tired of that shit, man. I'm tired of these people selling everyone a dream. Like Mo has said in the last podcast on Money Market Truth. By the way, subscribe if you haven't done so yet. There's nothing wrong with using the money that you have. If you have a couple of thousands of dollars, don't just jump into trading, especially if you don't even understand the market. Find a skill that can actually turn your life around and put you in a better position where you could possibly get a better 9 to 5, and then you have that opportunity, additional disposable income where you can learn and lose some money, because you're going to lose some money in the process of learning to trade. Point blank, period.
You know, Mark, what the real truth is, people quit their job and think trading is easy. You work 9 to 5, 8 hours, you don't have stress. But when you get into trading, most successful or unsuccessful traders will tell you that you need to put 12 to 15 hours. And then the added pressure that you don't have a job now. So you have to constantly make sure you're making money, which is going to cause people to overtrade. I don't know why social media thinks working a job is bad. I know enough people out there that make a ton of money working a job and running a business. Eventually, they could retire, leave, quit the job, or like the conversation we had with Tim. He quit his job and he was able to afford it. Like he's been consistently making the same money that or more money that he used to make. So that's fine, but just quitting your job because you had great 2 months or thinking about it, it usually doesn't end well. And you've personally experienced it. So we covered that too, like how your overall experience was. But yeah, it's social media is getting toxic. I don't want to keep saying that, but I just
Yeah,
like
it is, and again, like too, like I know it seems so easy because you see some of these gurus who are selling courses, trading on a beach or hanging out on a beach or in nice, Bugattis or whatever else. They're bragging, but really like peel that onion back and see where these guys were before 2020. Probably nowhere. They probably were just regular average guys with 9 to 5, and then they saw an opportunity to capitalize on the market going up, and they made some money, and they were like, I'm going to start a Discord group, I'm going to start this course, and I'm going to sell it. So then really majority of them, they're living this lavish lifestyle because you are paying for them to live that lavish lifestyle. It doesn't come from trading. It's very rare that I see a lot of people actually live a good lifestyle off of trading. The reason why I rock with Mo is because I actually know Mo. Me and him met because I reviewed his group, and I when I first met Mo, I thought he was 100% a scammer. Like I went into OTB Clubhouse like this dude is totally a scammer. For one, his Instagram looked like those typical Indian ones where it's just a bunch of like fake, photos and stuff. But and then I actually still like I joined a group. I liked what he was doing. He had something that was completely separate from most of these other groups, which was unlimited mentorship. If you sign up in his group, unlimited mentorship, you can talk to him on a daily basis, which by the way is amazing. That's a great tool that you have someone that you can actually speak to and he can walk you through your process. And then he came to Orlando, and I was like, you know what, man, let's meet up. I want to see you trade. And he was down for it. We met up, we hung out, we had a great time, we clicked, and we've been friends since. And that's actually how this podcast ended up coming to be. We were drinking and we were drunk, and I was like, wouldn't it be cool if we had a podcast? And Mo was like, yeah, man, let's do it. And here we are. So
yeah,
he actually trades, yes.
thanks, Mark. The idea that we talk about isn't really commercial because it's not marketing, it's not salesy, right? My thing is, I'll give you an example. Let's say I live in a really big house. Let's say I have a really fancy car. How do you guys know that it's not my parents rented or my friends, or it could be from real estate? Does that make sense? I think when it comes to stocks and investing, it's really easy to make people fool because you could just fucking say buy the dip, keep holding. After 10 years, we'll talk. After 10 years, that guy's gone or you've forgotten. When it comes to trading futures or option, you will know within a day, a week, or a month if this guy's legit or not. And that's why a lot of people, especially a lot of groups that Mark talks about, they go in and out, meaning they are there one day and the next day they're gone because options is like you can't be wrong every fucking play, or even for a week you'd wipe someone's account. So um a lot of people kind of have the thing where you price these discords so low that it becomes a social group and you're just there to chill with Mark, and then it becomes the gambler circle. So that's why I've been staying away from establishing that as a business or working or partnering with people that actually do that. And I think Mark's talked great about Stockout, and I think we need to bring him on the podcast too. But let's go over, I think people have more questions. First of all, Denise, thank you so much. We're going to keep talking their truth. And I don't think Mark or I give a fuck about like selling anything on this platform. And I don't think at any point, do you agree we won't be monetizing this?
I don't know about
Correct?
you. I'm monetizing everything. I don't give a fuck.
Okay,
Like,
perfect.
I'm joking now. Yes, yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. We don't plan on selling anything. I think the only thing that I have, so I'm being honest. I've taken a 2 month break on my channel, but I'm gonna try to do the affiliate link stuff because I do put a lot of effort into the work that I do. But the only affiliate links that you will see is applications or softwares that I actually use myself. I don't think Mo really uses any application stuff like that, but I do like Simply Wall Street. I really like it. So in every one of our videos, you'll see probably like a link in Simply Wall Street. So obviously, I think I get like 30% cut or something like that when you first membership. But it's a cheap software program that helps you as an investor, not trading, just as an investor. It kind of breaks down all the numbers and stuff for you when it comes to reading balance sheets. And so, but actually, like selling you stuff, no. I mean, if you want to sign up for most stuff, by all means, go to OTB
Yeah, we
Clubhouse
won't
and
talk
stuff.
about it though. We
Yeah, but
won't.
we don't. Yeah, we don't. Like
Yeah.
we don't. If you barely, we'll mention it here and there when we talk about stuff, but you don't see us on the podcast saying, "By the way, guys, for a limited time, you get $50 off of Mo's thing," or for a limited time, no, we're not. We're not about that. We really just want to kind
We're
of
legit
stuff.
actively promoting people to not trade if they don't have the capital. Like, I'm serious. Like, I think if it comes down to money in an emergency fund or savings versus options trading, do the other. I'm not the guy who's going to tell you put 500 and have a guaranteed 2000% play. Because look, if I had a guaranteed 2000% play, I will sell my house, I will sell my car, and then put all the money, because there's no such thing as a guaranteed 2000% play, but that's what sells. And it is what it is. So the next question is, Andre, it says, is discipline something you've mentally mastered like muscle memory, or is it more like a constant battle of balance? So I will talk about where I am at right now. I'm not at the muscle memory part. I have a constant battle. I think I have years to go where I get to a place where it just comes natural. I know people that have been trading much longer than me. They're also struggle. I have a couple of mentors that have been trading 20, 25 plus years, and I see them there and they're in a state of zen. They could have a really massive day, a half a $1 million day, and it's normal. They'll just stop trading for the day or the week. They could have a big loss. Usually they don't, but if they do have, it's just flat for them. I'm not there yet. Mark, what do you have to say?
Yeah, so I was pretty disciplined until I would say recently. I actually had this conversation with SG because he was like, I take breaks. Well, I decided to take a break during the summertime because I wanted to basically spend time with my family. My kids are at home and stuff like that. I don't want to be caught up watching the market all day and doing videos and stuff. We'll get into this conversation a little bit later. But I would say that was probably a mistake. And I had that conversation with him. He was like, bro, even if you're not trading live still, you need to kind of keep that muscle memory going and still watch the market, and maybe even just paper trade if you don't want to do it full time or whatever during the summer. Because I came back this week and I took a trade in the futures. I was up. Perfect trade. Double bottom. I did everything right. Got out of my trade and I was like, you know what? This feels good. Let me get back in. Even though the trend was up, and that's how I made my money initially, was at the double bottom and it went up, and I got out and I was like, I think it might drop, and I started shorting and I kept taking the L, and then I fell into my old habits where I was getting pissed off now, and I'm like, just one more trade, just one more trade. I ended up losing money that day. There was no reason I should have lost money. The first trade was perfect. I made my money. I should have closed it up and walked, but I hadn't traded for nearly 2 months. On a consistent basis, at least. I came back and I was like, "Oh, I made a win, so I'm back. I'm back in the game." No, so obviously I need to work on my discipline again because I literally went back to like rookie behavior with the whole revenge trading, which I was always really, really good at not revenge trading. But that day, I was pretty pissed. I was pretty pissed. And it's even like the weird thing when it comes to discipline as well. I can trade in the futures market and make money by scalping or doing something else. But if it's not the rules that I set up for myself, if it's not the strategy that I set up for myself, and if I didn't stick to the rules, regardless if I made money, I don't feel good about myself. Because I'm like, this was luck. This wasn't pure skill. This was luck. I got lucky by not getting chopped up or having that candle come down and knock me out. I literally just gambled, and that made me feel like shit. And I don't like that. So the big thing really, if I don't care about the money, win, lose, I need to stick to the rules that I made for myself and be disciplined enough to stick to those rules. If my rule is, if I have 2 L's in a row on the day, close it up and call it a day. If I have a good win that day, close it up and call it a day. There should be no reason that I take 2 L's and I'm like, damn, well, maybe if I just go one more time, this looks great. Oh, shit. Lost again. Well, maybe if I could do this, I could win my money back. That's a trap. Or, oh man, I made a good amount today. I hit my goal. But what if I could just go a little bit more? That's greed. That's greed. And that means I'm not disciplined. And that disappoints me more than anything. I'm happy when I stick to my rules and I win. I'm happy if I stick to my rules and I lost because I don't feel that shit. Because I'm like, I did everything right, like I'm supposed to. It just didn't. It just went against me. It is what it is. Maybe I didn't see something. I'll review it later. But I feel good when I stick to my rules, which means that I was disciplined. And when I don't do that, that means I'm not disciplined and I feel like shit.
Yeah, the FY Tim says hi.
Oh, yeah, dude, kick Tim out, please. Kick Tim out. No, kick him out. What's up, Tim?
You know what the problem, Mark, with us is, and I say us is majority of us work jobs and our parents work jobs,
What up, Debo?
and huh?
I'm sorry, I was saying what up to my cousin.
No worries. And I said that before too. It's the problem of attaching your self-worth with money. And I wouldn't say everyone has it, but I see a lot of traders with a victim mentality. And it's because of the kind of thing that a lot of leaders early on started speaking on social, that they don't want us to win. They want us to do this, and they kept saying they, and there's no fucking they, right? We all know that the market is made in the favor of the dealer, just how casinos is. They're not saying that, hey, you're black, so you're not going to win, or Mo, you're brown, you're not going to win. It's very simple. Everyone knows the market's rigged, but just instilling that thought in your mind, what a lot of people do is the market was trash, the market was this, the flow was wrong, this guy called out the wrong play, but there's no accountability within you. And that's life too. A lot of people do that. And I think in trading, it's created by a lot of leaders. I'd say a lot of leaders that hide behind the name culture, and they're for the culture, but they're telling you that they are against. There, no one's fucking against you. But I think those.
Yeah, man. It's what's up, Ken? That's another friend. Me and him used to work together. Man, I appreciate everyone coming in. Honestly, we have like 21 people on my channel. We have another 14 people on Money Market Truth. Yo, guys, thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for stopping by. This means a lot. I hate doing lives because I'm always worried it's just like one person sitting in the room. So very much. But yeah, so going back to that about the Florida culture stuff, I'm actually gonna do a video on this. So the reason why you guys haven't seen me post anything on Trading with a Dummy for 2 months, obviously because it was also the summer and I wanted to spend time with my kids. But I decided to go back and revamp my channel. I wasn't having fun what I was doing anymore. I was feeding the algo. I was doing trading group review stuff. I wasn't having fun, and I wanted to do something a little bit more different. So I'm coming back with some different content. But while I was gone, I went and I explored different groups, different communities, different trading styles, all this different stuff. That's how I came across Trade Decoded. So I saw someone in there was like, yo, thank you for recommending them. Great group. I came across Echoes from Above. So check him out. He's a YouTuber who calls out, scammers and stuff. But what I noticed on my journey outside of the little island that I was staying within, a lot of these black community groups, they sell you on their products through looking through a lens of racism. And it's just a marketing tactic that they use within their own community, because even like the white groups, they have their own version of that too. It's it's like the market maker. Wall Street doesn't want you to have this. Where in the black community, it's like, the Wall Street doesn't want you to have this. White people don't want you to have this. Look what they did to us in the past. They really sell this whole looking through the lens of racism. And I started catching on to that. That's why you see the for the culture, or support us, or all this other stuff. They're all the fucking same. It's just a level of marketing. Mo gave me this book called 100 million. It's like $100 million deal, right?
Offer.
Oh, 100 million offer. I read it. It was an amazing book. A lot of good information. Here, hold on one second. Can you fill that up? Thank you. Just Malibu and some more orange juice. Thank you.
Malibu and orange juice.
Yeah, I was just drinking. What was I saying? I completely went blank.
The book.
Oh yeah, the book. So when you read, everyone should read that book. Honestly, it's a great book on like marketing and selling, and everything in that book. I've seen all these groups. It doesn't matter whether you're white, black, Hispanic, Asian. They all use those same marketing tactics, but there's a key feature in there that I think a lot of these people failed. Value. A lot of these groups, a lot of these people are attaching high price tickets to their courses or their groups, but they're not providing the value to equate to that price. So I feel like they read the book and they were like, oh, I'm going to do this, and that. But I'm not going to really add value. I'm going to just really focus on the marketing and the price, and people are going to sign up with it. And and I was just like, I was blown away. So I'm gonna do a whole episode on that as well, because I feel like a lot of people have taken advantage of just when it comes to the black culture, Asian culture, white culture, doesn't matter. They really take advantage of people who just don't know better. And I was in that shoes when I started my Trading with a Dummy channel. The whole purpose of the channel, if you watch my very first episode, dude, I thanked EYL, I thanked the Come Up series, I thanked Ian, I thanked all Wall Street Trapper, I thanked all of these people. I was super happy, and but then I got into this space where I started going from group to group to group and getting to know people and really like peeling the layers to the onion, and then I started seeing the scamminess to them and what they're really acting like and what they're saying behind closed doors and their marketing tactics, and that's what started turning me off on all these people, and it makes me a little sad because I thought there was this community of people who really cared, and it just shifted. It became about money, money, and that's why. And for the longest time, I was like, I'm not gonna call out anybody. I'm not gonna be that person. Well, when I come back on my channel, I have a list already of people that I am 100% gonna call out, and I don't give a shit no more. These people should be held accountable for literally stealing people money without actually doing it by force. They just finesse you to give them money, but it's all sales tactics. It's all sales tactics.
All right,
Sorry,
so we have
I
a
went on a rant
question.
again.
All good. Do you guys take your setups 100% of the time, and does each trade have its own stop depending on price action? You want to go first?
So, when it comes to the options, I basically do the same thing that Mo does, because Mo was kind of what Mo taught me is what clicked with me, and I went through different courses, but what Mo taught me it just clicked with me the best, which was supply and demand, which I was doing prior to really getting to know him anyways, but he does it slightly different. So yeah, if it breaks below the demand level, I exit the position. It is what it is. If it bounces off the demand level and goes up, I'm going to ride it up until supply and then I exit. When it comes to futures, it depends. My stop limit is different on Nasdaq than it is on ES. I don't really trade the bonds. It's not my thing. It's like watching paint dry, so I don't even mess with it. I only mess with Nasdaq and ES. And like I said earlier, when it comes to this is specifically Ninja Trader. I typically have a 12 to 20 stop on ES, but it depends on my setup. Sometimes I may be flexible with it a little bit and extend it somewhat. Nasdaq's tough because it's a bitch. It moves up really fast, and so my stop loss there is anywhere from also 12 to 50. So it's drastically different depending on the setup. The 12s, I usually always get stopped out quite a bit on 12s tick stop on Nasdaq because it just moves really quickly. And I noticed on Nasdaq, if you get the direction right and if you could just widen your stop loss, but you're taking more risk by widening that stop loss. But if you can widen it a little bit, you have a better chance of it going in your direction if you have the correct setup. That's the thing. You have to have the correct setup. You have to be confident in your trade, and you'll be good to go.
So I think psychologically what you're talking about is a mistake I used to make. Basically, I would have my watch list ready. Next day, I wouldn't take my trade, but I would take someone else's trade that was called out. I did not know why I did that. And I would see my trade run and their trade flop. And I would get pissed at myself. And this would repeat every single, it would repeat.
He just left. He got kids, bro. Welcome to life. This is the real life of how people trade. Yo, check this out, yo. I'm gonna put this book in there, the $1 million offer. Thank you, babe. It's actually, dude, on Kindle it's 99 cents right now. On audiobook it's free. So I'm assuming you have to probably sign up for Audible or something. But I'm gonna put the link here in the group if you guys want to listen to it. It's an amazing book. I loved it. Just even if you're not interested in selling or marketing anything, just read that book or listen to it on Audible and see how these people are selling you. I think it will definitely open your eyes. I just put the link there. Yeah, I dropped it in there so you guys can take a look at it. I don't know why
Sorry,
it's
guys.
like that, super long, but yeah, you can click on that and you can download the book on your Kindle, 99 cents. That's cheap as shit. It's $1, and it's free in Audible.
Mark,
You
can you
buy
hear
that
me?
hardcover. Yeah, I can hear you. You're good to go,
Okay,
bro.
sorry. So what I was saying was actually didn't understand why I would do that. And then I read the book Trading in the Zone, and it talks about people doing this because they don't want to take accountability of their own actions. And that's kind of where I corrected it. And this was like a year and a half ago. So I will 100% of the time take my own trades and the setups I have. And in terms of stop losses, the indicators matter, but honestly, nothing is above news. If I'll give you an example. On Friday, I got into Baba. Baba was just going straight up, right? $99. It closed. Friday opened at 105, and then I'm like, okay, yo, this looks good. And then I got into 110 for the Monday, and then I saw the market tanking. The levels didn't matter. It didn't matter because we had the Jackson Hole event. It's a key event. So I got out within 7 or 8 minutes, even though it was a next week's contract. I wasn't down that much. It doesn't matter. So to your question, 100% of the time, I always take my own setup. I don't take anyone else's setup. Second is if there's news bigger than the levels, I don't really care what the levels are. I'm just gonna get out. The trade can turn. I don't care. I just fall. That's a part of my rule. News over charts any day. Chart could look good, but if the news is bad, I'll be out.
Yeah, that was a good question. You guys have any other questions at all? Because I could talk about some stuff. If anybody's interested in, yo, you want to talk about this whole Inflation Reduction Act real quick? We have a whole episode on it, by the way. So again, subscribe to my channel, to Mo's channel, and to Money Market Truths. But the Inflation Reduction Act obviously gives you a $7,500 credit for purchasing EV vehicles, and we talked about it in the last podcast that some of these new vehicles now are just upping the price by $10,000. The Mustang E, the E-Mach, if you guys have ever seen that, it's actually out there in the streets. I've seen it in the wild. It's an okay looking car. It doesn't really look like Mustang, but they literally just raised the price by $8,000, right, Mo? Yeah, they just raised the price
$8,500.
Yeah. Why?
That's
So,
crazy.
so it doesn't even help you at all. So oh, sorry. There you go.
It's okay.
What's your thoughts on I want to walk away and day trade? You want to go for that one first, Mo?
So it's basically, Tim, are you trying to say you just put in the trade, no stop losses, and just be like, I'll come check it in a couple hours? Is that
No,
what
I
you're
think
doing?
he's talking about I want to walk away and I think he's talking about like I want to walk away from
Quitting
my
your
job and
job?
just day trade. Yeah, we kind of talked about that already, Tim. You were late as usual. No, we talked about that. Go ahead, Mo, if you just want to recap that real quick for the new people who are in the room.
I think it's okay. I'm not trying to trigger anyone. Most people want to quit their job because either they don't get paid enough, they hate the work, or they feel like the amount of work they're doing, they don't get paid. When you start trading, it's 10x worse. You're going to work longer than you think. You're not going to make a lot of money initially. So it's going to exaggerate whatever you think. The thing is, when you're first trading for an hour, 2 hours, you feel so good, right? It's nice. It's like a hobby. But when you actually start doing it full time, the pressure gets on, the bill starts stacking up, and it actually impacts your trading. And Tim, we actually brought up your your story as well. Like, you retired, but then you made sure that you were making equal or more amount of money, and now you're like chill because of that. But imagine if you weren't making enough money, you probably want to go back to working a job, which is never a good feeling. But yeah, we talked about it.
Yeah. And again, my thing is like if you're not consistent and if you don't have money to walk away, don't do it, man. Honestly, like literally, I was a couple months ago after I started the job that I had, and it was really SG that kind of told me. He was like, dude, don't. He's like, you got an easy ass job. They pay you really well. Don't quit your job, dude. Not until you're like at least consistent for like 2 years. That's why I got the whole 2 year and adopted the whole 2 year process of. No, you're right, man. Why would I give up this easy ass job that I'm good at? It still gives me a lot of free time to do what I want to do. It allows me to trade. Why would I just walk away from this to be a full-time trader if I'm still not 100% disciplined and can control my emotions the way that I want it to? Like I want to be able to be like, if I lose money like $500, okay, whatever. The difference is with me, it has nothing to do with how much money I make. Like I get pissed off losing $20 just as much as I would get pissed off losing $500. There's no difference because I have this emotional attachment to money still. But I also grew up kind of poor, so that's a whole nother story on its own.
Okay, we have another
Stock
question.
Chaser. Yeah, this Stock Chaser. Have we bottomed or not? Just curious what you guys think. Even though I know no one knows. Okay, yeah. So you're right. No one knows if we really bottom or not. I do not think that we have reached the bottom yet. I know everyone was saying, "Oh, June was the bottom, 3,700." I think we could potentially still revisit that before the end of the year in my opinion, and maybe a little bit lower.
I think we should test a new low by October. A lot of people are thinking that because we've got these elections, mid elections coming in, they're not going to let the market drop. This is going to be the reason why it drops because people will not be hedged. It's good that they're actually thinking that, and the less hedged we are, the more we will drop, and we will drop like an elevator, not like how we are right now. That's that's one. Um, Second is the more money printing they do, be it student loan, be it the inflation, the more they're going to have to increase the rates and tight. A lot of people aren't understanding that. Fed is going to have to do more work because of all the printing. They're actually making the shit worse. In September, we're starting with a $95 billion quantitative tightening. And just so you know, end of month flows start next week. So you buy, what did I read? By Wednesday, they need to sell 9 billion in mortgage-backed securities. So,
So think about that, y'all. Yeah, it's dangerous. Keep going.
So if we don't get so Monday should be down based on the 80% rule. Friday down, Monday down. Tuesday might be consolidation. If Tuesday is consolidation, Wednesday might be crazy. So just like have your bags, the bear suit on Wednesday. It might get wild.
Yeah, about the student debt that you were just talking about as well. Like I honestly I don't understand this administration. I made a tweet about this as well. The Inflation Reduction Act costs about 750 million. They said, right? That's what about or a billion. I'm sorry, not million, billion. And now this student loan forgiveness program is going to cost anywhere from 200 to 300 billion is what they're expecting. So we're at basically $1 trillion has been talked about within a month already that's being passed, right? And I don't understand how this is going to help us fight and combat inflation. Now, I understand that the reason why they're doing this, because in the end of the day, again, Biden, like I'm deep into politics, I love it, but Biden is his approval rating sunk significantly. I mean, it was way worse than Trump. It's like worse than I think they said in the past 4 decades. And I think this is his way of trying to deliver something so he has a chance to possibly get reelected. I think the Republicans really shot themselves in the foot by doing the whole Roe v. Wade, the whole situation. I think that turned off a lot of people. So this was like an opportunity for the Democrats to come in and start delivering something. And if you hand out candy, you'll keep people happy temporarily, but we're not looking at the long-term effects of how this is going to hurt this country. And as shitty as this sounds, it's really, in the end of the day, this is the only way to really combat inflation is you have to have people lose their jobs and people have to stop spending money. And it's really sad if you think about it. You have the government here increasing the debt deficit and stuff, and they still need you to lose a job. So the more the interest rates will increase, these companies are going to make cutbacks because in the end of the day, they don't really care about you. Nobody cares about you. That's really what I'm saying. Nobody really cares about you. The company, in the end of the day, their job is to make money for the shareholders. Point blank, period. They need to be profitable, and that is it. Their stock needs to continue to go up, and that's it. So for them to do that, they have to make cutbacks, especially if the inflation rate's going up and they're being charged a lot more to get loans and stuff. They're going to make cutbacks. And where they're going to make cutbacks? With y'all, the average American citizen. And it sucks because a lot of people are going to end up getting hurt down the line. But hey, doesn't matter. You got $10,000 forgiveness on your loan. But if you don't even have a job to pay the rest of it back, how is that really going to help you? And again, also, when it comes to the student debt relief, the $10,000 that they're wiping away, $20,000, I think if you're married or something like that, it's only for government-backed loans. And the funny thing is, I was looking into the study a little bit, is that majority of the people weren't even paying their loans to begin with. This is prior to them, pausing the interest rates and the payments and stuff. This is prior to the pandemic. Majority of the average person who had student debt loans, that's by the government, they weren't even paying it anyways on time. So now it's just like, here, let's take off $10,000. And I think their hope is that, oh, now my student debt went from $25,000 to $15,000. Now I might actually start paying it. Most people probably still won't. And a lot of people also have privatized loans from banks such as Bank of America, SoFi, USAA, and etc. I don't know if all those banks give student loans. I know SoFi does because I'm just recently investing into it. But those privatized banks, you're not getting anything forgiven from them. You still owe them money. So you still got to pay them back. So this is just specifically government backed loans. So just be careful. It's just, to me, I feel like it's a desperate move to try to make people happy to get voters to come out and then vote Democrat without seeing the future impact of adding more debt to our balance sheets. And not only that, and I know they say they keep posting and saying that this whole rumor is about them increasing the IRS auditing and stuff, that it's not going to hurt the average American. They're not going to audit the average American. I don't believe it one bit. They're going to get their money somehow. It's just like the PPP loan. We talked about that as well. I said PPPA. I think I said PPA on our last podcast. I meant PPP loan. If you look at the grand scheme, look at the people who are getting arrested for the fraud. Have you noticed it's mostly middle class, but they ignore all the rich folks? I don't know if this is true or not, but I had a conversation with someone last night. They told me that Tom Brady apparently started a business a week before the PPP loan was getting approved. There was rumors of it coming out. So he started a bullshit business and got $1 million waived. He never even sold anything, but he's not going to jail. But the average person that's living in the hood who decided to get an LLC because he heard it on some of these gurus finance channels where they're like, hey, here's a play, y'all ready for the play, this is what you're gonna do. They got the PPP loan, right? So all you gotta do is just go get yourself an LLC. That's all. Get yourself an LLC. It's $200, all right? You know what I'm saying? So you got that LLC, boom, now you got a business. Now you could apply, get the PPP loan. There you go, money forgiven. You don't even have to have a business. Now these people are getting arrested. That was terrible fucking advice. Get an LLC if you actually have a business. And I remember sitting in one of these groups. I'm not going to name them. But I remember seeing them and they were like, here's the play. This is what you do. And everyone was like, yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, we're going to go do that now. Now look at your ass. You're about to get arrested or get audited or some other shit. It made zero sense. It's just a grimy way to try to get free government help. And yes, I know they're like, well, white people do it. White people do it. Yeah, well, stop always comparing yourself to other races and other people who have more money than you. Because some of these people, like the Tom Brady, did I say Tim Tebow? I meant Tom Brady. They got a shit ton of lawyers that they can afford to fight this. You don't. And they're going to get their money one way or another. That's all I had. I'm sorry. I've been going on my rants. It's a Malibu and orange juice, I guess.
Do you have a Discord? Mark doesn't have a Discord. I do have a Discord, but if you are looking for free knowledge, follow us where YouTube every Tuesday. When does the YouTube video get released? Wednesday?
We usually we shoot on Tuesdays, but sometimes kids and stuff come into play. But usually try to have it either out by Tuesday or Wednesday, every single week.
Okay. So could China crash affect us in any way? So I don't know if you know this. Baba and all the China names have been running, and it's because China is going easy, and they were actually doing quantitative easing. And despite that, Friday was horrible for them. So when they do stop and go in quantitative tightening, China, I don't know if China takes us down or Europe does, but nothing is looking good. Or the China-Taiwan. It's like there's so much shit around with US creating more debt for themselves. I just say be cautious. This whole thing about buying the dip, that's why I'm not against it. But if you're in a good, sound financial situation, I'll use Mark as an example. Mark works a decent job. Is it for the government? Right? For the government or no?
Yeah, I'm a yes. I am a yes. It's for the government.
Yes. Yeah. So maybe Mark is good, but other people build up your emergency fund, learn more skills, create more wealth, create more income for yourself. A lot of people sell the idea of passive income. Passive income requires a lot of active work for a good 5 to 10 years before you get there. But you know what? You guys should already know that. I'm talking about Tom Brady now.
No, it was I think it was Tom Brady or something. But yeah, or Tim Tebow. I don't know. Whoever created that company. That shows you how much I don't watch football. I can't even remember their names. P Smooth, he asked a question here. Let me post it up real quick. Is the Mar-a-Lago situation a distraction? Yes, it's a distraction, but not a distraction for like Biden to do whatever he wants. They're afraid that Trump is going to run again because I truly believe that he has a very strong fan base and the way that they've been handling the situation, because everyone hated, if you really look at the grand scheme of things, put your political affiliation to the side, right? Because contrary to what people think, I'm not conservative nor am I liberal. I really have no side. But when you look at the grand scheme of things, if you took away Trump's ridiculous rhetoric, his Twitter, his tweeting, and all that other stuff, you take all that stuff away and just look at his policies alone, they were relatively good. Majority of them were pretty good and benefited the country and benefited the average American. It really did. Yes, it also benefited the rich. There is no denying that. But I think they're trying to find something to prevent him from running again if he decides to. Personally, I don't think he wants to run. I think he's just doing it just to scare the Democrats. I think it just could just be a show. But the Mar-a-Lago thing, I'm very conflicted about that because, for one, I want to see what caused them to go in there and actually raid, because I know CNN was like, oh, he stole top secret information. I don't think that's necessarily true. He said it was stuff that was declassified, that he declassified, and he was able to keep. So I'm interested in this. I can tell you this, as a previous person who worked in the intelligence career field, I don't like that Hillary Clinton was able to send classified emails through an unsecured network and just get a slap on the hand. I can tell you this, if you, most of you probably don't know this, so there's this things called skiffs and stuff when you work in a top secret location where you need a badge to get into certain places. If you go in and you badge yourself in and the person behind you doesn't badge in, but you know he's got a top secret too, but he doesn't badge in, he just follows you in, you can lose your clearance, get fired, and get in trouble. If you accidentally take some documents that's top secret and you walk out the building, you can go to jail. Straight up, your entire livelihood is destroyed. And I remember when that whole stuff happened with Hillary Clinton, everyone was just like, oh, it's whatever. It's whatever. And that was some bullshit. That was privilege right there, because it showed you, because she's in a position of power and people, the Democrats liked her. She got a slap on the wrist and she was good to go. A slap on the hand, I mean. And she was good to go. Whereas now Trump, you're raiding a previous president's house. That's unprecedented. Like, I've never seen that before. Like, they really, really hate this guy that much, and they fear that he's going to run, that they raided his house to try to get something to stick. Because the guy has been so dirty to the point the hooker thing didn't stick. The grab him by the pussy thing didn't stick. His taxes thing didn't stick. Like the Russiagate, which was all BS to begin with, and trust me, I know, because I was working the intel career field during that time. That whole Russia thing, that was straight up BS. I hated that they were doing that. But he was such a controversial figure that already had so much dirt. It seems like nothing sticks on him. So they're trying desperately to figure out a way to make sure that he does not get reelected. In my opinion.
All right, I'm gonna bounce soon, but I want to say something. Mark, do you want to tell them where they can follow you on Instagram?
Yeah, you guys can follow me on Trading with a Dummy on Instagram. My YouTube channel, I'm planning on coming back hopefully in the next week or two. I have some stuff I think you guys are gonna like. I have a new intro that I'm building right now. It's gonna be kind of a it's going to be a kind of like choose your own adventure. If you guys remember that in the books back in the day, where you read a chapter and it's like, where do you want to go? Here, there, or there. I figured out a way how to do it on YouTube. So I think that's kind of cool. I'm really excited about introducing that intro. So please definitely check me out. I'm going to come back. I told myself this. I'm not going to stay quiet anymore. If I see someone grifting, if I see someone taking advantage of the community, I'm not going to tiptoe around it anymore. I'm going to call them out straight up. I already did it on Instagram. I don't care. I call out Wall Street Trap. I call out Ian. I can't tag Ian because he blocked me. So it is what it is. But I'm gonna start calling people out. If you're out there taking advantage of people, and if I see that, I'm going to say something. And if you disagree with me, and if you think I'm just a hater or whatever, I tell you what, I tell all the people that I will call out, you're more than welcome to come on my platform. We could talk about it, because I'm gonna call you out in front of everybody. We could do it live, and people can interact, and you can explain yourself, and we'll see what happens. That's just gonna be one side of what I'm doing on my channel. I'm gonna continue to do what I'm doing. I'm gonna give updates on my journey. I'm gonna start teaching as well, and I'm gonna also show some of my trades and one of my portfolios that I'm trying to fix that got damaged during this entire bear market, I'm down on like Square like 50 some percent. I'm down on Facebook like 40 some percent, and that was like 30% of that portfolio. So I'm gonna start posting that stuff as well, and kind of just be a little bit more transparent on my journey, so people can relate to it. Because I think everyone just sees, like what you said earlier, everyone's winning, 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 but that's probably not the reality. So I'm definitely gonna do that, because I trade with a dummy coming 2023. No, it's gonna be before that, Tim. But but yes, I took a break. I'm reset. I just got worn out with it. Wasn't fun anymore, especially like once I started getting momentum. But I am going to come back, and you will either like my content or you're gonna hate it at that point. So, because I'm doing something that's going to be very similar to what Eddie Murphy used to do in the 80s, play different characters. So you either like it or you will hate it. But I hope you guys stick with it and stick with me and continue to support me. So you can follow me on YouTube, Train with a Dummy.
Okay, so for me, you can follow me on Instagram at OTB Clubhouse. I was actually supposed to go over the watch list for the next week, but because Instagram died down, I'm going to actually make my watch list open for everyone. Just I don't need anything. Just make sure you're following me and Mark to qualify for it. I'm gonna post the link tonight. I want to cover something major tomorrow. I think there's a big shift coming, and there's certain tickers that are going to flip the market. And if we could just focus on the ones that have the flow, meaning people are actually buying puts in big demand, we should be able to make a lot of money. Another thing I want to say before going, August is usually one of the toughest month to trade in because of basically a lot of senior traders leave and a lot of interns actually are trading, and that's why the volume is low. Everything changes once we are over the long weekend, which is September 5th. I think the next month all the way till October should be money making season. It's like the boxing week of stocks trading. September historically is the worst month of the year, so things will get a lot much easier. um, Only thing that people that aren't as experienced, stay away from weeklies, buy longer contracts. Look at September 16th for September 16th, but that's of the OPEX week, or October 21st. It will be easy money. It won't be fast money. So you pick what you want. If you want fast money, make sure you know how to trade. So weeklies, you fucking gotta know how to trade, because let's say you get in on a weekly put on Monday, and Monday nothing happens, Tuesday nothing happened, and you're down 60%. Most people will sell on Wednesday. We tank because it's end of the month. That kind of stuff. Just be careful. But yeah, Mark, I'm pretty much done with everything I wanted to say. Make sure you following Mark and me if you want to get into the watch list tomorrow.
Yes, and Money Market Truth. Please definitely subscribe there. We don't have a huge base yet, but we see that the number of subscribers we have and the number of views that we get is pretty much one for one. So thank you so much. Seriously, everyone, thank you so much for supporting us. And if you ever have any suggestions or certain things you want us to talk about on Money Market Truth, just let us know, because it's not just stocks. So it's Money Market Truth. So it's everything. That's why I'm also talking about politics every once in a while if it's involved with money. So definitely check us out. And hey, Mo, maybe we should just do this more often. I really enjoy this. This is cool. Echoes from Above is the one who kind of schooled me on, hey, man, you need to probably do some more of these lives. I've been jumping on a lot of his lives because he goes every Friday. He goes live, so I've been jumping.
Let's
on there.
do every Saturday.
Comfortable. Yeah, let's try. Like, before we don't want to make any promises yet. Okay, relax, Mo. I have a busy life. Okay, I like to party on Saturdays. No, I'm kidding. But seriously, I think we're gonna try to do this more often. This was fun. I like this, and it helps us, and we get to actually interact with you guys and stuff. So thank you.
Yeah, we'll pick a better day, like fucking Saturday night. I don't want people coming drunk here or Mark being drunk. So let's pick a different day. And then I think a lot of you guys have asked to do collaboration and bring guests. Mark's got some big names coming. First of the accountant part, tax accountant, right? That's what we're working on next. Okay, cool. Perfect.
Yeah, we've been talking with if you guys know JT the Pocket Watcher. So he's actually CPA. So he's gonna be coming on here as well. I'm sure I probably could get SG to come on as well at one point. Yeah, so we have definitely some awesome guests, and I'm working with additional guests that are coming on my channel alone. So once I get to know those folks, maybe they can come on as well. Other YouTubers, other people in the space as well. So it's gonna be awesome. Really, I look forward to it. Again, thank you everybody for stopping by. I really appreciate it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this, and yeah, man. I guess this is it. See you guys next time. Peace out.